I was so upset in that moment that I'm like, I now have to explain to two 6-year-olds why Sesame Street character, which, you know, they shouldn't even be experiencing something like this, so I'm just completely bypass them as they watch this character.
See the look of disappointment on their faces there. Her attorney told us the hard part happens after the camera cuts.
When the video cuts off, that same performer immediately went and hugged another Caucasian girl that stood beside those two black girls. I think that's very disturbing, and I think it also goes to show an intent.
Now, Sesame Place first issued a statement calling the girls' experience, quote, unacceptable and a misunderstanding. They also issued a second statement saying they're taking action to do better.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Vow. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on Vows. We talk about Sesame Street Place. Yes, the Sesame Street incident that many people are talking about, buzzing about, and saying horrible stuff about. We'll get to it in a minute. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Viral here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. As we talk about Sesame Street Place. Yes, Sesame Street Place. Piggybanks from Sesame Street, the children's television show that many people, millions of kids watch all over the world, with the characters saying that diversity and inclusion matters. Well, there's been a viral video surfacing as two black girls were trying to get the attention of a Sesame Street character named Rosita. And Rosita was embracing some of the white kids rather than the black kid. And it sparked outrage beyond belief. Let's get to the latest on what's going on with Sesame Street Place in this incident.
Edit here now. Okay, you see the character coming, high-fiving everybody as it goes down the street. Gets those two little girls. It appears to just flat out say no, and you see the little girls and their faces and their heart broken. So now, there was an initial statement the park put out that explained what you just saw. Then they updated that statement to saying that what you just saw is not okay. Sesame Street, a place of inclusion and learning for generations of kids. But Sesame Place, the theme park based on characters from the iconic children's TV show, is issuing an apology this morning after backlash from this video showing two young black girls seemingly snubbed by a performer dressed as Rosita at the Sesame Place theme park near Philadelphia.
When he got to my children, he, as you can see in the video, just told them no and kept on moving. And then I had stopped the video because I was upset. But after that, he proceeded to hug another girl of a different race. And to me, it's like, so the kids automatically were like, as you can see in the video, they were, upset.
The character of Rosita seeming to shake her finger no before passing by the two little girls.
They're thinking that they did something wrong when they did absolutely nothing wrong, and then to see other children be acknowledged and that you're not acknowledged.
Sesame Place initially released a statement saying that the costumes characters wear sometimes make it difficult for them to see, adding the Rosita performer did not intentionally ignore the girls and is devastated about the misunderstanding. But that statement wasn't good enough for many on social media who expressed outrage. One user writing, "Nothing can undo how these babies were made to feel in this moment. The looks on their faces are so heartbreaking." Singer Kelly Rowland helped draw attention to the issue, speaking about the video on her Instagram.
And did you see that baby's face at the end, the little one with the pink on? She deserves an explanation.
Now, other parents are sharing their own videos that they say show similar instances of their children being treated rudely compared to others, all seeming to show similar bias by characters at the park.
These are innocent children, and the job of the character is to bring joy to the kids and to, acknowledge them. And I'm kind of happy that it went viral because now it brings light to a situation that we shouldn't have anyway.
As a result, Sesame Place has issued a second statement saying that they are committed to making this right, adding they will conduct training for our employees so they better understand, recognize, and deliver an inclusive, equitable, and entertaining experience for our guests.
Saw that incident, Sesame Street Place. Sesame Street issued an apology, issued what they deem a statement right here on having inclusion and having diversity. saying this won't happen again, and there will be some training courses for the employee. Well, we know that that employee may have went on leave or what, or getting some racial sensitive classes going on. Hopefully, the employee knows better that you can't have division like that. And I think some people don't know right from wrong, but that person should have known right. If you didn't want to touch the kids, you should not touch no kids and just shut away and live like that. Or if you want to touch kids, just pat every kid, not just being like on one specific race. That's not right. It's sort of not right in that case. All right, let's hear what you people had to say out there about the Sesame Street Place incident on our segment. What the people say right now.
So yeah, something of an update. Sesame Street, or I should say Sesame Place, did issue a statement early on yesterday. This statement, where they spent a good part of it, at least the second half, sort of defending the performer that was in that outfit and going on about how they didn't intend anything by it, and that's fine. But in the wake of that video coming out and it getting a lot of attention, a bunch more videos have come out. Videos with the same character seeming to bypass a black child, and then other characters bypassing a black child. In fact, several had. She noticed and made a comment. And even more with that same character interacting with other children, but then seemingly bypassing a black child. And then another character in this very odd video where they seem to bum rush a child and knock her over. Like, I can't understand the context of that last clip. Like, is that something the character does on Sesame Street? But at any rate, with a lot of other people saying, hey, we've experienced this too. And probably on their own, it didn't seem like much, but when you start putting them back to back to back, it feels like something. Well, Sesame Place retracted their initial statement and replaced it with a statement saying that they're committed to doing a better job making children and families feel special, seen, and included when they come to our parks. Identifying this problem and taking steps to fix it, that's the whole thing, and I hope that they do, because Sesame Street is a very important voice for a lot of children.
So we're going to expose it. Adrian, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's my understanding that the first mother who posted the video, that she has gotten lawyered up, and that they're looking for every remedy available possible to hold Sesame Place accountable, and I think that they should. And from all the videos I've seen, I think it should also be a class action. The fact is that it seems that these characters, or individuals in these characters, they know good and well what they're doing, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those little secret running behind, the stage, in terms of everybody knows. Some people engage in the nonsense and some do not, very much like we see with law enforcement departments or other environments that generally are predominantly white or male. And what needs to happen here is not just some training. And as someone who actually provides training to companies, I can tell you that there are certain behaviors that cannot be untrained. And especially when you're looking at the most vulnerable of the population, which would be children, and seeing that you are willing to mistreat small black young children tells me that this is something deeper, more ingrained than a lack of inclusion. That this is someone or individuals who are actively okay in engaging in racist behavior. And thus there should be not necessarily training as much as termination. And I think the company knows this, which is why that they came out first with their little story, and then after the videos came out, they recognize they have to do more, and yet still more must be done. But it may take a lawsuit to actually get that done.
Very well said. And when I saw this story, I thought of you, because I know you provide this kind of training to major companies across the country. What do you think should happen internally for these companies to not only make people feel comfortable again, but to actually have a substantive impact on the culture of that employment or employee base?
I think that they need to terminate employment for a number of individuals. And they also do need to have some kind of internalized review, because I would not doubt, again, that this is something that the people behind the scenes know is going on, and some people engage in it and some do not. And if they make that public and make it clear and let people know that they have released those people from their employment and that they are actively engaged in DEI training regularly, I think that that could be a way in which to get the public to feel more comfortable. But the reality is that nothing's going to happen until they confront the issue. And from these dribblings of social media posts with these explanations, quote excuses, it tells me that nothing meaningful will happen.
Yeah, well said.
By now you've probably seen the video of the Sesame Place character completely ignoring two sweet little black girls. Originally, Sesame Place came out and said the costumes our performers wear sometimes make it difficult to see at lower levels, and sometimes our performers miss hug requests from guests. I call bullshit for a couple different reasons. First of all, in that video, you can see Rosita actually waving at the little girl saying no. Second of all, it is not that hard to see in those costumes. How do I know this? This is me in a former life. I also played Grover and Rosita at Busch Gardens in Tampa, Florida. These costumes are actually puppets. The performer has control over when the mouth is open and when the mouth is closed through a mechanism that you hold in your hand. When you squeeze the mechanism, the mouth opens. When you let it go, the mouth closes. And when the mouth is open, you can actually see pretty well. To the point that when we did close-up meet and greets, our stage managers told us to keep the mouth slightly closed so they couldn't see our faces through the scrim. The other thing they teach you is eye focus. Since the character's eyes are up here, when you hold your head like you do in your everyday life, it looks like the character's looking straight up at the sky. But if you have your head bent down and it looks like the character's looking at the guests, you're looking straight down at the ground where children stand. So what this actually sounds like is a systemic issue within Sesame Place. This is not Sesame Street because the park actually licenses out these characters to use in the park. Again, I call bullshit. Be better, Sesame Place.
Okay, by now you probably already seen the Sesame Place incident where Rosita did not hug the little black kids, okay? Do not scroll away from this video. Watch the whole 1:30. I'm making a point, okay? Now, here's the video. Rosita says hello to some kid, sees a white lady, high fives, and says no to somebody, looks right at the kids, says no, okay? On the Instagram, Sesame Place is like, no, that ain't it. You know what I'm saying? The performers can't really see people because they're up high. Okay, that's not what we saw in the video. Not at all. But let's say for the sake of argument, that's what happened. Okay, so explain the rest of these videos. Little black boy, nah, I ain't gonna hug little black boy. He's heartbroken. He's heartbroken to me. Rosita looking directly at this kid, dance, hug the other girl, walk past this kid. Now, let's slow it down. Does it look like she pulls her arm away right here? Walk away. Is that a pull away? It looked like a pull away to me. It looked like a pull away. All right. Here comes another one. Little girl just walk by her. Handler don't help. Now this is just wow. I don't know who this character is, but what is this? What are you doing to the baby? Why are you knocking the baby down? What? Now we said hug, not shove. Hug, not shove. Now this is the worst. Look at this. Baby, this Bert don't slap the person. Bert done slap the baby. Bert slapped the baby. Bert slapped the baby. Sesame Place finally apologized. They said, my bad, we ain't do that. What's going on? And Sesame Street was like, we don't even work with them. Sesame Street character seemingly ignoring, skipping over two black kids. Video got the internet heating up, with even celebrities like famous Destiny Child singer Kelly Rowland responding to this disturbing situation.
So, had that been me, the whole parade would have been in flames. Like, are you serious? You're not gonna speak to my child? And did you see that baby's face at the end? The little one with the pink on? She deserves an explanation. Hello?
And now that the video was going viral, with many parents upset, Sesame Place has tried to clean it up by issuing a statement immediately addressing this debacle, saying, quote, the performer portraying the Rosita character has confirmed that the no hand gesture seen several times in the video was not directed at any specific person. Rather, it was a response to multiple requests from someone in the crowd who asked Rosita to hold their child for a photo, which is not permitted. The same part continued by saying the Rosita performer did not intentionally ignore the girl and is devastated about the misunderstanding. But after Sesame Place released that statement, even more parents began to come forward, disputing these claims and showing even more camera footage of other parents noticing a similar pattern of these Sesame Street characters hugging Caucasian kids, invisibly walking right past and seemingly ignoring the black kids at the park.
And y'all know the internet don't play that. Did this Sesame Street character really think that they was going to keep ignoring the children of color, breaking their little hearts, and think that the other parents wouldn't notice, and have even more footage, and from every angle too? And it's sad that these young girls had to experience this unfortunate ordeal at such a young age. But what would you do if that was your child? Do you think that this was done on purpose, or just one big misunderstanding?
Been surrounded by family with the support for now, so we just want to make sure.
There's so much it couldn't see, but you got to get training. So just help them see. That would be all the training you would need.
That's a part, but again, I try to get away from the outrage and interpretation. Yeah. Any human being can see that and see that something happens there in those little.
You can see it in those little girls' faces.
Yeah, big time.
Thank you, Chair.
A lot of you are placing blame on the Sesame Street character, that it couldn't be the character, but the person inside the character who done something like that to make division and make it worse than what it is. Hopefully that person is getting racial sensitive training classes on how to conduct and how to make kids' experiences great, rather than trying to jeopardize kids' imagination and try to hurt their feelings. We talked about it here on Vibe. We talked about Sesame Street Place on allegations and the incident that had occurred with two black girls, and the mother was outraged. I've been your host, Kendrick Dixon, and so long. We'll see you next time for another edition of Vibe.